Hello everybody, Daniel here, and I have a really cool special video today. One thing I haven't really talked about on the channel is an NES top 10. I've never really talked about it. That's because the NES is one of the most greatest, well, I don't really know the punctuation for that one, but okay. One of the greatest retro gaming consoles of all time. Oh, I'm still itching right back here. Probably because I got my hair cut, but that's besides the point. The thing about it is the NES is one of the greatest gaming systems ever made. It really defined what gaming really is, and it defined what it could do. It also helped change the landscape. It changed the landscape. It also, what else it did was it took us out of the video game crash in 1983. Nintendo, with their policies and everything else, really helped it with their manufacturing monopolies. It really helped. Well, today I'm going over a top 10 games list. Now, I do have some honorable mentions in this list that I'm going through first. These are games I don't own, but these are games that I have played. I got 5 of them. First one is Super Mario Bros. 2. Huge fan of the game. Doki Doki Panic in Japan. Technically, Super Mario Bros. 2 is really a unique game. It's very unique. In Japan, they had something called Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, which Nintendo of America thought it would be too hard for Americans to play. So they just released Super Mario Bros. 2. It's completely different. You play with one of 4 different characters, and Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach, and it's really fun. There's no time limit, so to me it's like an exploration platformer, if that makes sense. It's a really good game. Zelda 2: Adventure of Link. This is an extremely hard action adventure game with role playing elements. I like it. I don't love it. I like it, but it's definitely worth mentioning in the honorable mentions. Mega Man 2. I do not own Mega Man 2. That is possibly one of my favorite Mega Man games. But I do have a Mega Man in this list, but y'all don't know which one it is. But I do have a Mega Man in this list. And I do love Mega Man despite the fact I suck at it, but I love it. Number 4. Probably my favorite puzzler on the system, even though I don't own it. But there's a couple of puzzlers in this top 10, and that is Wario's Woods. I'm a huge fan of that franchise. Huge fan of Wario games. I love Wario's Woods. Fantastic game on the NES. I love to death. And I got one more I gotta talk about. I don't own it right now. Eventually I will. And that is the original Final Fantasy. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy. I love the original. It's a fantastic RPG that that was made by Square Enix. I can't even get my words straight today. I don't know why. But it's a fantastic game. I absolutely love it. All right, so let's go through this top 10. This is only one game per franchise, no particular order. It was really hard for me to make the list from 8 to 3. I already knew what my number 1 and my number 2 games were. I knew that off the bat. When it came to making 10 to 3, that was probably the hardest of the list. And remember, this is not an official top 10 list. This is just my personal picks. All right, so starting at number 10 is Tengen's Pac-Man. I'm a huge fan of this game. I love this game to death. Well, so that way y'all can see me too. I love this game to death. Love Pac-Man. I played different kinds of games of Pac-Man. I played Pac-Mania on the Genesis, Pac-Mania on the NES. I played Pac-Man World 2, Pac-Man World 3. I played all the Pac-Man games, if you could think about it, really. Pac-Attack, Pac-Man versus Pac-Man Championship Edition. I played pretty much every single Pac-Man Party. I pretty much played almost every single Pac-Man game that there is known to man. Love this game. It's a fantastic arcade game. Huge fan of this game. I probably can't even get past probably like the 6th level, but every time that I play it, I still bring back those memories of enjoying it like it's the actual arcade. Fantastic game. I recommend picking this up. This game is not really hard to find, but there are some Tengen games that are extremely hard to find on the NES, though. Number 9, since we were talking about Mega Man, Mega Man 3. Not my favorite in the series. Definitely, Mega Man 2 is definitely my favorite in the series. It's just the fact I don't own it. This would probably be my second favorite, and then it would be the first. I've seen and played a little bit of 4, 5, and 6. Not a huge fan of those. I like 1 through 3. 3 is hard. It's very difficult for me. I enjoy it though. Even though I die all the time, I enjoy it. I enjoy the game. It's just a fantastic game. I solely enjoy it. I love it to death. but it is difficult, but it's a huge, great game, and I absolutely enjoy it. Also, I got these sleeves off of eBay, if anybody wants to know. I bought 10 of them for like $15. Not too bad. All right, number 8. Wheel of Fortune. I'm a huge fan of these kinds of like puzzle games like this. Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Family Feud. I love those kinds of games. And this is no exception. Out of any of them, this is definitely my favorite. I'm a huge fan of Wheel of Fortune. I actually have this little Wheel of Fortune like little controller type thing where we're going to have up to 3 players. And you just spin like the little dial thing on the controller. And it's actually really cool. I got to find it. I don't know exactly where it's at, but I got to find it. Fantastic thing. I love it to death. I used to play this on the N64 all the time. And then when I got the Wheel of Fortune on the NES, I was not disappointed. Great game to play with friends. And you don't even have to use 3 or 4 controllers. You can literally just use 1 controller. All right, so that's number 8. All right, number 7, our first puzzle game. This is an unlicensed game by America Video Entertainment called Crazy Creatures. This is an unlicensed game. Fantastic game. I love this game to death. And just a huge, huge, great game. Like, the puzzle genre on the NES is crazy. There's so many different puzzle games on the system. I love it to death. The one thing that I do like about this game is you have to clear things in rows, like elephants, cats, dogs, etc. And then it just gets extremely mayhem after a while, and it requires nothing but complete focus. It's such a great game. I would recommend picking it up. It was very cheap. Alright, so number 6. We're coming to the only sole RPG that I have on the system, and that is Square Enix Dragon Warrior, also known as Dragon Quest in Japan. I have not beaten this game. I only played it for like 5 or 10 minutes, but when I played it, I absolutely just loved it. I haven't even gotten to it yet because I got other games I'm playing on my list right now, but this is actually a fantastic RPG. Once you beat it, you're going to want to beat it again and go back through it again. It's a huge, great improvement. I love the game so much. And I cannot wait to actually go back and really just finish it. I've seen videos of it and everything. Like I said, I've only played about 15 minutes of it, and I absolutely just love it. Great RPG. There was actually 3 other sequels that was released on the NES, and most of them are highly expensive. Alright, so now we're down to the top 5. This was definitely 5 to 3 were definitely highly hard to choose. So, number 5 is Tecmo Bowl football. Yes, I know the label's all messed up. I love Tecmo Bowl baseball, football, basketball. You don't get this kind of entertainment anymore. You just don't get it no more. And this kind of entertainment is awesome because the thing about it is when it comes to sports games, like from like the 80s and 90s, you don't ever get those anymore at all. Like you don't get none. Like these new, it went from a great arcade experience to nothing but a simulation experience, and that just went downhill. The only good simulation one was like Madden 2002 and Madden 2005. Everything else was just complete crap. To me, this is one of the best ones on the series. And Super Tecmo Bowl definitely picked that up as well. Another puzzle game you could add on the list of honorable mentions is The Adventures of Lolo. Very good game. All right, number 4. Love this game. Metroid. Huge, huge fan of Metroid. I love the game so much. I have not beaten it, but I have gotten extremely far in the game. I got to the point where I got to the halfway point, and then I ended up dying, and I wrote down the password, and I haven't gone back to playing it yet. But I love this game. This is not my favorite in the series. That would definitely go to Metroid Prime. Definitely Metroid Prime. This game is absolutely gorgeous. I just wish it had a map, despite the fact it came with a map when you got the system. Not the system, when you actually got the game. But fantastic game. Highly recommend it. Alright, so number 3. My second favorite puzzle game on the system, Dr. Mario. Huge fan of Dr. Mario. Love the game. I've played Dr. Mario throughout the years. I played Dr. Mario 64, and then I played Dr. Mario Online RX, and I played Dr. Luigi before. And then I never knew that on the NES there was made, they had Tetris and Dr. Mario on some other system. I forgot what it was. but I never knew that they made Dr. Mario on the NES. And then I said I had to try it, and I got addicted to it. I love this game. I've beaten this game before, up to the 20 mark. I've beaten it. I love it to death. It's a fantastic puzzle game. It's very addictive. It's up to 2 players as well, so definitely enjoy it. All right, this is no surprise for number 2. Number 2, Nintendo's own Super Mario Bros. 3. This one was actually very difficult if I wasn't going to choose either Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Bros. 3. I definitely chose Super Mario Bros. 3 over the original, just due to the fact of the sheer amount of content and for the fact of what this game holds. And it holds a straight value. There was a whole 90-minute commercial movie on this game, and that's awesome. You don't find things like that anymore. I mean, if you want to take a look at the Big Bang Theory, they had pretty much, it was showing off the PS4 and Xbox One. I mean, I guess you could say that's like a commercial in a way, a 30-minute campaign commercial if you think about it, because Sheldon's trying to buy which one he wants. But still, to be honest with you, this is possibly one of the greatest games on the NES. People say this is their favorite on the NES. It's definitely not my favorite. It's really close to being my favorite, but it will never top to be my favorite. All right. If it's no surprise, I've been said it before. I'll say it again. I've said this to everybody. I love this game to death. This is nowhere near my favorite game of all time. Probably maybe in the top 5. Near is like 1 through 3. This is like nowhere near it, but this is definitely my favorite on the system. I love it to death. And that is the gold cartridge, The Legend of Zelda. This is a fantastic game. I love this game to death. I've beaten it before once. I'm actually going through it again. Once I finish doing that, I'm going to go through the second quest. Yes, because people don't know it, there's a second quest. You could either beat the first quest and then start a new one, or you could just type in Zelda in a new profile, and there you go. So after I'm done beating my quest, I'm actually going to go through and beat the second quest. So the way that works is it's just like Ocarina of Time. With the first quest, you don't really have to get you don't have to acquire additional heart containers, as in like the like you can do like in the second quest and things like that. Like, they're not mandatory. There are certain items now that is completely mandatory in the Zelda 2, where in this version of the game it takes about 3 hours. Zelda 2 takes about 5.5 hours to complete, because you have to acquire almost every single thing in the game. And I can easily do that. I love this game so much. I'm so happy Shigeru Miyamoto really made this game and what it is today. Well, guys, that is my top 10 games on the NES. I love the system to death. It's one of my favorites of all time. I can't wait to do an N64 top 10, because everybody knows what that is. Everybody knows what my top number 1 game on Super Nintendo is, and everybody knows what my top number 1 game on PS1 and PS2 are and PS3 are. I just want to say thank you guys, for viewing this content. I'm really nostalgic for people viewing my content. I love it to death, and I'm very nostalgic for people viewing my content in general. Well, I really just want to say thank you guys so much for viewing every single thing that I have on my channel. It's I'm really lost for words, but it's amazing, what viewership will do, and people that are commenting, please leave me the feedback. I'm always going to respond to it, because I want you to know how I feel about anything and everything. I want you guys to understand that I love doing this, and this is just no exception. I love gaming, and I love to spread the word of it. So I really just wanted to say thank you guys so much.